Hello everybody, back here again for our vlog a day, and today is Wednesday the 19th, and today was a lovely, beautiful day to be alive. Got up this morning earlier than I wanted to, but it is what it is. So got up, got around, got the dogs outside, got basically rotated through. They're fine when they're together, I'm right there with them, but if I get them out like outside, Seamus the big lab decides he wants to try and just hump everything, and especially not really everything, the little one. He decided he wants to hump the little male dog, which I think is partly because the little male dog thinks he's dominant, and there's no aggression there. It's just Seamus stands over top of him and humps the air, and I'm like, what are you doing? And it's just, I'm afraid he's gonna step on him, I'm afraid he's gonna squish him, that kind of thing. So I don't really let them have time alone together. It's just not worth it. So not worth the risk. So I separate him back out. Wife got up and around, got them all fed. I have to separate them out. That whole fun scenario there. So we got that done, and then basically hung out with the dogs off and on throughout the day. But to start with, I ran over shortly after my wife left. Actually, before my wife left. I guess I left before her, but ran over, had to take care of some cats that I feed and care for. So went by their place, fed their cats. There's one upstairs, one downstairs, the whole thing, whatever. Used to be they fought and they couldn't be together. So I had to keep the one locked in part of the house, and I was always worried she was gonna get out. And then after a time, they're like, if she gets out, it's not that big a deal. And, just at that point, leave the door open so she can go back into her room or her part of the house. And then it got to the point now, the doors are left open and the cats have free run. They pretty much just ignore each other. So the one cat, I've been doing this for, I don't know, a couple years now. And the one cat, I've only seen a glimpse of it once as it ran through the living room. I met it at meet and greet. That's the first time I met it. And it was funny because back then she's like, I got one cat that's super mean, really aggressive, blah, blah, doesn't like anybody. I got one cat that's super nice and doesn't mind, just kind of tolerates everybody, whatever. So I walk in and I see the cat, the first one laying on the bed. So I walk over and start petting it and stuff. And she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm petting the cat, say hi to the cat. She goes, no, what are you doing? I go, I'm petting the cat. She goes, that's the super mean one that we can't even pet. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know that. And the cat's just laying there, I'm rubbing his belly and stuff. She's like, that is the weirdest damn thing ever. And then the other cat, who likes everybody, was also petted and stuff. It was all good. So that made a really good first impression with them. They're like, holy crap, this guy's this cat that hates everyone, including us, is letting this guy rub its belly. It's crazy. So that cat's mellowed down. But since that day, I've never seen it, except a glimpse of it run through. So who knows? It's so funny in that whole process. But yeah, got them taken care of, headed back over. Basically got back to the house, hung out with the dogs for a bit, just chilling out there for the most part. Got a couple things done, did a little bit of yard work. Decided to go ahead and get my run in a little early because I had some things going on and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, oh, I'll just get it over with. So it was raining off and on throughout the day, different little times, little spots. I'm like, well, here's a gap in the rain. So I'll go ahead and get that run in, and decided for whatever reason, I'm not really sure why, I decided I was gonna run longer than normal. I really cut my miles back this year and trying to basically rehab my body a little bit because I was running just too much. I ran too much last year and it was a lot. So I ran a marathon a month, not one straight marathon, but each month I ran over 26 miles and basically averaged out. And it's a lot of miles. You break it down, especially for an old man, it's almost 50. But today I decided I wanted to run long. So ended up running out and just kind of hadn't made my mind up where I was even going, how far I was going. I just kind of ran by feel and then started off like I do now. I make the video, and so I walked a little bit to get my body loosened up, and then I ran a mile, walked for about 0.1, 0.15, and then I'd run a mile, and then I'd walk 0.1, 0.15 again, and I repeated that 6 miles. I think it was 10K is what I ended up at, a little over 10K. So I got back to the house at a little over 10K and decided I had a plant that broke off, one of my flowering plants and stuff had broken off in the wind that day. So I'm like, well, let me get my clippers out and trim it up because I can repropagate it. I can basically replant it out. But I went ahead and trimmed up where it broke off in the yard. Hopefully it grows back in there, who the hell knows. And then went in the backyard, I trimmed up one of the big ones that's getting pretty big. And I was afraid it was going to get broke off in a windstorm also. So I trimmed it all back up, took a handful of those plants over. Also found a giant, twice the size of an average pineapple size air plant. I think it was massive, falling out of one of my oak trees. It was on the ground. So I took it over to the house, and who knows, I don't know if it seems like once they fall out of the tree, they die. No matter what I try and do to keep them alive, I can't keep them alive. So we'll see if I can keep that thing alive or not, who knows. But went ahead and trimmed up a bunch of the pieces I cut off. So I don't know, I probably got 25 new starts, but you gotta let them dry out for at least a week. So we'll see. I set a reminder for 10 days to plant them, let them heal over. They sap like crazy when you first cut them off. It makes a mess. So letting them dry out, hopefully they can scab over. So if you plant on the ground when they're still leaking real bad, I guess they get a lot of infections. It's like, imagine you cut your elbow open and you just stuck it in dirt before it scabbed over. It's gonna cause an infection. So we let it scab over before we put them in dirt. So hopefully that works. Hopefully I didn't just chop up a bunch of my plants for no reason. The one I had to chop up because it already got broke up in the storm. The other one was probably gonna get broke off in the storm, but I didn't cut it back because it was way too big. So another thing they claim is once you cut one back, they usually pop out 2 to 4 more little sproats off it and you get more flowers. So hopefully I can trim that plant back, get more flowers out of it and go from there. So that took a little bit of time. And then I was just still sweaty and stuff and dirty from all that. And just kind of hung out with the dogs a little bit because it's warm enough that even if I jumped in the shower, I hung outside with the dogs, I was going to end up sweaty again. So I just said, held it, hung around with the dogs, letting the dogs in and out, playing with them, interacting with them, enjoying the afternoon until the time came to wife said she's on her way home from work, which I said, hey, you're having chili dogs and I'm having the soup. I hate hot dogs. I don't eat hot dogs. So she wanted chili dogs. I'm having soup so you can eat whenever you want. Like there's no time to get home if you need to work late because missing all this work with your dad here lately and stuff. Do what you need to do. She's like, okay, that's cool, that's great. So in that process, while she was in that, I end up hearing from the shop that has my Suburban, supposedly fixed the brakes that didn't. They have it back, and they're basically saying the fact they want to put like a vacuum pump on it and a bunch of their shit, and they're saying the thing ain't pulling a vacuum and da-da-da, and all this kind of, I'm like, whatever. I'm like, no, I'm not paying that money. I don't want to listen to a vacuum pump run the whole time. It's super annoying sounding, and they're not that much better. So I said, we're going to go to Hydro Boost brakes instead. If I can find anybody that has one in stock, I'll get it ordered in and I'll just put that in instead. I'm not paying that much to get mediocre brakes again. And they're like, okay, fine, whatever works for you. So called around, called CPP, which is probably the most expensive version, but everybody says the simplest thing to put in. They got the best brackets that mounted up and stuff and whatnot. Called them and they're like, yeah, we're 6 to 8 weeks out, back ordered for your truck. And I'm like, fuck me, you gotta be kidding me. So I'm like, oh no, man, I'm not waiting this. Like, that's how my brake lines last time. You guys said it'd be 3 or 4 weeks and it'd be in 6 months to get my brakes and stuff. No, I'm not doing that. So started calling around all the other companies, found some that actually had one in stock in their Texas warehouse. So they're shipping it to me. Should be here in 3 or 4 days. But God, it's expensive. It's like $1,200. It's so much money. But everything I've researched, everything I've talked about, everybody absolutely loves it. They say it's the absolute best thing you can have for it. I'll probably have added an extra reservoir on it for a little more volume and then put a cooler on it as well if I get to driving it real hard, which I don't plan on doing that. So we'll see. But yeah, it's so worth it. This truck, I'm ready to start throwing money at it again and get it fixed right and get the best of what I need to make it work, because I'm just tired of, one, not driving it, tired of paying an insurance bill on it and not driving it, and two, I want my damn truck back. Like, I'm tired of people that don't know what the hell they're doing. So this right here is pretty simple to install. I'll get it pulled apart, get it installed, and hopefully get it all figured out and get it working fine. And I'll be able to have good solid brakes. And I don't have to think about it. Because right now, like, it's so unsafe. Like, I wouldn't let my wife drive it. So I'll start looking for wheels, trying to figure out I need to order a set of wheels, because the wheels that are on it are just stock set of GMCs off a newer GMC that are 6-bolt, 20-inch. But the problem with it is the back spacing's wrong and they rub. So I got a spacer on one. It's a pain in the ass. So not the life I want to live, but I'm not a spacer guy. I'm gonna do the right part, do the right thing. So I found a set of wheels I really like that I have in stock, but they're 17s. I'm like, God, I'm not doing 17s. I want 18s or 20s. 17s are too expensive for tires, not worth it. So now I'm back to the drawing board, but I know sometimes the hubs are the centering ring is bigger on different things. So I'm trying to figure out, how do I tell without going to the shop, jacking it up, taking the wheel off, measuring it? How do I know I got enough room inside my wheel to basically cover it? Because the stock GMC didn't fit over my big brake kit, and they had to be ground out a little bit in order to even make it fit. So yeah, life is just so much little shit you don't think about that comes in. And it's amazing how it seems like nobody usually I would, back in the day, you'd call a tire shop, wheel shop, be like, hey, this is what I have. And you're like, oh yeah, this right here. They would know this stuff. Like the information. It's like you come to my pet store and you would ask me about fish filters or protein skimmers or UV lights or whatever. I would have no information. And if I didn't have the information, I would be able to find it for you. Here they're like, yeah, I don't know, man. Good luck. Go away. And I'm like, what? They're like, you got a part number for me to order? Cause if not, I don't want to deal with you. I'm like, I'm here to ask for help. Like, they're like, yeah, we don't do help anymore. It's just you tell us what you want. I'm gonna go back here and hit on my vape pen for all that. I'm like, holy shit, who just hits no customer service in the world anymore. So yeah, dealing with that whole fun thing. So you gotta pick up my wheels, get them ordered because I can't be driving around with these. And I also gotta wire in like my fan and stuff. I gotta get all that stuff figured out. But that's all little shit that don't matter that much that can be knocked out in a solid weekend. Now I back up and going. So anyway, yeah, I got done with that. Wife got home from work. I got on my way home from work. I jumped in the shower. I had soup. She had chili dogs, and she burnt the chili dogs. Turns out she likes burnt hot dogs. I think it's disgusting. Hot dogs alone are gross, but then you burn them, it's even worse. So, but she had that. We went to watch a little bit of Sweet Tooth and chilling out there for the evening. She headed in, did some more stuff. Went over and checked on her father. I headed outside, play with the dogs, and chill out there for the evening with a nice cigar. So headed back in, wrapped it up for the evening. Had some cashews as a snack. Bought 2 big old containers of cashews last time I was at Costco, and been eating the hell out of cashews. I like cashews. So anyway, that's all I got for right now. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Have yourself a safe, wonderful day. Thanks for watching.